First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there in the four quarters of the earth, proclaiming this truth, risking your lives to do so, and going out there and teaching. So, anyhow, in case you are newer to the channel or whatever, I have a segment, and this is always updated and changed out every 2 or 3 days, but have a playlist called End Time News, where pretty much it pulls up things that are going on within Great Millstone, and also things that are going on around the world. And then I pretty much I download and save them to my computer, man, because Esau doesn't want this truth getting out there. As you know, that he's limiting what kind of videos you can make. If you go too much into proving something's a false flag, or that this has been in predictive programming, or that, pretty much that, it's bullshit, these people are lying, they take down them kind of videos. So there's not a whole lot of truther videos as much anymore. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, you can see here, you can't make someone not right, and that's Great Millstone, San Francisco Discussion, which, like I said, soon I'll be linking up with them, but I still check in with the camp leader, and we usually correspond on Sunday, check in, see how we're doing, and, as I continue here in the city of Reading, to teach this truth, and then you got after camp there, and, lots of things going on. There's, of course, I won't be able to forward this video because RNU videos, man, they were really, you can't forward their videos, and a lot of times they take them down almost afterwards. But there's more image from the Syrian Arab Army's Operation Damascus Steel, which they're taking back Damascus, so that's another reason why they're trying to kick off these false flags, so they can get back in there. Here's another good lesson. Yahushai's second coming will differ from the first. Absolutely. Here's another one, and this is from AMTV. Jack Dorsey says Bitcoin world reserve currency. So this is something we need to pay attention to. Perhaps I'll get the video in here, Read the scriptures with attention, Again, and like everything else, touch up on the Hebrew. Look up the Hebrew words for these things. Much for their lies. Oh, I am so fucking getting tired of that, but at least this is our people teaching. Sheeple led to the slaughter. That's right, because they want government control, And so, march for their lies, I'm fucking getting tired of all the coverage on that, too. 37 dead, dozens of children still missing after blaze in Russia's Chimera shopping mall. Like I said, that's a Mossad operation. You can best believe that. Huge crack opens up in Kenya and swallows a road. Isaiah 53 is not talking about Jeremiah 8 spaces. Fear and doubt are worst enemies. Knowing is not enough. That's right. It's not enough that you know this, but you got to go out and proclaim this and be a part of this. We know Apostle Tahar just did one on Revelation chapter 6, as it's had many views. Of course, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Stupidity, Bakar Amath, and, it shows you the Simpsons, because the Simpsons puts out a lot of predictive programming, right? Again, things going on. So, yeah, this one's pretty funny here. Atheist author David Fitzgerald slaps the shit out of Vocab Malone with a statement. That's right, because people are getting tired of that fucking dumbass Christian shit, U.S. expels 60 Russian diplomats on poisoning allegations, and again, that's the tensions there. This is why brothers don't like to put up videos dealing with the Hebrew. Exactly. A lot of people just don't want to deal with the Hebrew at all, and yet we're the real Hebrew Israelites, so what up with that? All right, and here's one I got from RT. I'll read the article here. Vote, leaving cheating could have swayed Brexit. Cambridge Analytica whistleblower to MPs, A whistleblower who blew the lid off of Cambridge Analytica links to Facebook and the sharing of millions of people's data has opened up about the company appearing in front of British MPs at the DCM's committee. Accusations of takeoffs or suspicious deaths and conclusion have emerged in the explosive questioning of the whistleblower Christopher Willey, former CA director. Willey spent a year working with the British press over how the company obtained people's personal information from Fakebook. That's what I call it, Fakebook. And so, again, people are leaving Fakebook too. And we here at Great Millstone, we don't really deal with Fakebook anyways, because it's a bunch of crap also. We already know that it's a spyware thing, but, a lot of this, March for Their Lives shit ain't just about gun control, but to divert our attention from what's actually going on. So we'll read here from the Syria news, Evacuation of the new batch of militants from Jabhar, Zama, Tama, and Erbil starts, So again, they're evacuating people because Syria is regaining control of their country. Massive destruction Al-Mari architectural site due to terrorist attacks. Yeah, because, these terrorists are destroying everything within. Hama Customs seizes 2 trucks loaded with 2,000 Ghazi lenders smuggled to terrorists in Idlib. Hama Customs seized 2 trucks loaded with more than 2,000 cooking gas cylinders, which were planned to be smuggled to terrorist organizations in Idlib, head of customs. Oh, and by the way, Hamas is controlled by the Israeli state, so, that's another way that they're supporting the terrorists in Syria. Kaaba architectural temples stand witness to the lasting splendor of ancient civilization. The ancient temples of Qanat village, about 7 kilometers east of Sweda city, have been seen as unique architectural monuments that stand witness to the greatness of Syria. So, that's going on there. The Syrian Arab Army frees 28 abductees held by terrorist groups in urban Damascus countryside. The Syrian Arab Army units freed 28 abductees who was held by the armed groups in the central part of Ghouta in Damascus countryside. 6 abducted citizens detained by terrorist groups in Erda liberated. The Syrian Arab Army liberated 6 abducted civilians who were detained by terrorist groups in Iran in eastern Ghouta. Yeah, so, pretty much Bashar al-Assad has really been gaining ground, so they really are trying to kick these things off because, of course, what's happening is, if pretty much the terrorist groups are being run out, so, they got to make you believe that these terrorist groups exist, which is why the false flag in Russia and in France recently, and then you got, the March for Their Lives bullshit going on here, as well, because the only terrorists there really are is, of course, the Edomites. They're the terrorists, and in fact, like I said before, if you hadn't caught a couple videos back, I showed you how a Sacramento cop was there was an unarmed man in because somebody had called the cops, and a guy had nothing to do with the robbery, was gunned down, shot 20 times, and he wasn't even the guy that did it. Of course, he happened to be a Jake, but that will never be reported on ABC or PMS NBC or any of them other ones. Or if it is, it's such a small segment, but they're going to go on and on and on about a goddamn bullshit shooting that never even happened. But then I'm telling you about one that did happen. You know, that was on RT, but they ain't going to cover that shit. No, March for Their Lies is all they're going to fucking promote. And I am fucking sick to death of this. So, you know, and you should be too, you know. But at the same time, though, you know that, you know, this gun control thing is just another step towards the breakdown, you know. As you can see, businesses closing right and left. So let's take a look here at a few other things I have in video files, because I just went through an old hard drive of mine, you know. And let's see, the Sandy Hook Aurora shootings predicted in 1995. You know, they really have done a good job of getting these things off there. So let's just see what we got here. You know, if I can get this to open. Hold on a second.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is KJ here from the Scariest Movie Ever Made and RiggedReality.com, and this is going to be a video about the Sandy Hook shootings and also an Aurora, Colorado shooting connection. I've done a few videos on both of those shootings. I even did one on the Sikh temple. And I've done all the research I can on this stuff. Sandy Hook keeps developing. It's getting creepier, it seems like. You know, there's more and more interesting stuff coming out on that. And if you're not familiar with my videos, I do a lot of breaking Masonic code or, you know, showing Illuminati symbolism in our world around us, right? And that goes back to this, because as I was doing some research on Sandy Hook, and again, thanks to my subscribers who are sending me some really cool videos, somebody sent me one video, and it had an Illuminati card on it, and it wasn't in the context I'm going to show it to you today, but I noticed some things on there, and I think they're pretty wild. I haven't seen anybody else pick up on this, so I want to show that to you. But before I get to that, and this is going to be the card that shows you the connection between Aurora, Colorado, the Sandy Hook shootings, and a game called the Illuminati. It's an Illuminati card game from 1995, okay? So before we get to all that, let's just go ahead and start here, and I'll show that most things that happen in our world, everything really is connected. And a lot of the time with these big shootings, or, you know, look back at 9/11, I mean, big events, a lot of times you can actually find signs that were given to us before these things happened, all right? It's called lesser magic. I know a lot of you out there may not understand this kind of stuff. If you don't, just research the Illuminati a little bit, research the Masons. You can check my site, check my channel, or just check YouTube in general. There's tons of great videos out there on the Illuminati and on Masons.
Which they're cleaning that up, of course.
It's called lesser magic. They make us a part of the spell. They'll give us hints on what's to come, and it works in a few different ways. In a way, we kind of become a part of the spell by giving it our energy, and secondly, it's a way of kind of knocking out the argument over conspiracies. In other words, a lot of things you'll see in movies and commercials or TV shows that hint at things that are going to come. I'll show you a few examples. And when it happens and you try to explain that to somebody, they're going to think you're a kook, because they're like, oh, that was on TV, or I saw that movie. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of how it works. Anyway, just to get started, so you guys probably know this guy right here, and this is the kid that has been convicted, I guess, at this point, of the Batman shootings at the theater in Aurora, Colorado. And what was weird is just before this shooting happened, during one of the Olympic ceremonies, they had these guys come out, and they looked just like him, right? He was supposed to be the Joker during these shootings, so that was interesting, right? Here he is in court again, completely out of his mind, right? And if you want to see more on that, like I said, I have a video on my channel, and other people out there are doing great research on that as well. Here's one of the Illuminati cards, and you see right here the Joker guy.
And make no mistake about it, the fucking goddamn shooting, Sandy Hoax, that's all it was a hoax, you know, to make us believe that this happened, and same thing with this Parkland shooting and everything else. You know, the world is a stage, and they show you this shit, you know. But a lot of videos like this, they just don't have them on the internet anymore. All right, anyhow, yeah, I got a distraction. Hold on a second. And this is the day we should all be looking forward to, you know, which, of course, a lot of shit's got to happen before this happens, but, you know, we can hardly wait, though, until finally the nuclear bombs do go off, you know.